Festivals are undoubtedly one of the most chaotic events of the year for people in the UK. Whether you decide to camp or be a pussy and get a day pass, you're bound for a good time. But, like everything else in this cruel world, money is involved. So how much do they really cost? Well, let me tell you. Hello everybody, my name is George, I'm 20 years old and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my experience at UK festivals from this year, exactly how much money I spent in preparation beforehand and while I was there. Before we go into it, make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe if you are new around here, for somewhat decent content which you will receive more regularly now that summer's over. LOL! In the UK there are a variety of festivals you can choose to go to. Some may be on your doorstep and others may be right in the bottom of Cornwall. And out of that list I chose to go to two festivals this year, the first being Reading and the second one being more local to me in Norwich, Sundown. Thankfully the majority of festivals only accept card payments now, so all of the transactions have been recorded and I've gone through my bank. I've got them all down here for you. To add a bit of structure into what I'm about to tell you, I've split every cost into 4 different sections. The ticket, the travel, the food and drink, and other. Starting from the top, we've got Reading Festival. Just after Glastonbury, Reading and Leeds are the biggest festivals in the UK, with a capacity of just over 100,000 people. Me and the rest of my mates decided to get the weekend camping ticket. We got there on the Thursday and we went back home on the Monday. This is what the majority of people do when they go to camp, but in hindsight it was probably best to get the early bird. This standard weekend camping ticket cost £235, which we actually paid for at the start of 2020, but obviously everything got delayed. I'd say that's a very reasonable price for the experience which you get and all of the acts which perform, but I'll get more onto that in a minute. Next up is the travel. How did we get there? Realistically, there aren't many options of getting to a festival when you're a 2 to 3 hour drive away, so it's either driving there yourself where you'd have to pay for parking, get someone else to drop you off, which is quite an arse considering how far it is, getting the train, which isn't that bad of an idea but it's a little bit of a hassle, and the fourth option is getting the coach, which is what we did. This two-way coach ticket cost £80. £20 of that was insurance, just in case it got cancelled because of COVID. In all honesty, the coach was a good experience. It was pretty funny on the way there and on the way back, and if you are that tired, you can just have a sleep. It's very convenient as well, because all you've got to do is go to the station, get on, and then get on the way back as well, and that's it. The third section is food and drink, and this is before you go. For those of you who haven't camped at a festival before, your diet goes completely out the window. You just need some food which you can eat in the morning and which can keep you going throughout the day. For the supplies we were going to need, we went to 3 different supermarkets. The first one was Lidl, where I spent £13 and 5p on food. The second one was Sainsbury's, where I spent £33.50 on drink. Alcohol, of course. And finally, the third one being Tesco's, where I spent £2.20 on some paper cups to drink out of and some baby wipes. All in all, the cost of this wasn't that bad. You just have to bear in mind that you've got to pack it all in your bag, so don't overspend. Finally, we have the fourth section, which is other. This consists of one other key thing which I had to buy beforehand and everything I spent while I was at Reading. And that one key item was a tent. I decided to get a 3-man pop-up tent from Home Bargains, and this cost me £30. In all honesty, at the time I was at Reading, I didn't really spend that much. Let's go through it. £14 was spent on this ride here called Oxygen. It's basically 2 massive rotating arms and it flings you around in the air. I managed to record it, which was pretty cool, on the 0.5 fisheye lens on the iPhone I've got now. We do not care. I then spent another £8.50 on more drink. In the same trip at Tesco's Extra, I spent another £2.70 on a meal deal, and that was definitely an interesting trip. Thankfully there was an on-site co-op and I spent another £10.50 there on more food, and on the final night I spent £2 inside the Salvation Army gazebo. I'm not even lying, that's the best £2 I've ever spent, and it's also going to a good cause. Personally, I don't even think that's that much because there was plenty of opportunities to buy fresh food on the site. There's also other ways which I could have travelled there which would have been more cost efficient. Say if I drove, I would have had to pay a parking fee over the weekend, but it wouldn't have come anywhere near £80. Obviously fuel was taken into that as well, but it still wouldn't have exceeded the price of the coach. Another good point is that this was all my decision. Some people would have spent more than me and some people would have spent less than me. Like, I didn't have to go on that ride, which cost £14, I know is quite expensive, and I didn't have to go and buy more alcohol, but I chose to. So with all of these costs added up, it came to a total of £431.44, which I spent at Reading Festival.
That's a lot of damage!
But we had some very generous neighbours. They decided to leave early on the Sunday night and they didn't bring everything with them. So with the opportunity at hand, me and Ben opened up our bags. After evenly splitting it between us, I received 2 Stella boxes, which are completely full, 10 cans in each box, a sleeping bag and a blow up roll mat. I have actually still got 1 box of Stellas left just under my desk here. This is the rectangular sleeping bag, which is worth about £10 pre-owned, and this is the Euro Height Camper Compact self-inflating mat, which is also worth around £10 pre-owned, and you can get 2 boxes of Stellas for around £16 after a colleague discount. So from how much I profited from this, it comes up to £36, and if you take that away from the total cost, it comes down to £395.44, which isn't that bad. Next up is Sundown Festival, which is based in Norwich at the Norfolk Showground. Similar to Reading Festival, we decided to get the weekend camping ticket again, and this costs £138, starting on Friday and ending on Monday, a day shorter than Reading. In terms of travel, we split a taxi between 4 of us and that cost £7 each, which was only to get there, but on the way back I managed to get a lift from my parents, which was very nice of them. Moving on to the food and drink I got beforehand. Yet again we went to Lidl and I spent £14.36 on food. I don't know how I ended up spending more on Sundown because it's shorter than Reading. And in terms of drink, I spent nothing.
You serious?
I had some alcohol at home already and I carried over the Stellas from Reading and brought some of them with me as well. Now moving on to the final other section, which consists of 2 things. £5 on a bacon butty, which wasn't really worth it, but everything's going to be overpriced, and £15 on another ride called Slingshot, which looked a bit like this. And that was it. The total amount of money which I spent at Sundown, which came to a total of £179.36. Not bad at all, considering that's just over another £40 from the actual price of the ticket. However, there are good reasons to why this is the case. Number 1, there was no on-site co-op or a good shop. Number 2, we weren't allowed to leave the festival. This was probably because of COVID reasons, but unlike Reading, we couldn't go to a nearby Sainsbury's or a Tesco's. Number 3 is an obvious one, is that it was local, so there's less money spent on travel. Number 4 is a shorter stay time, so you don't have to pay as much for the initial ticket. And number 5, I didn't have to spend as much money on alcohol because some was passed over from Reading and I had some at home already. So here's the moment you've been waiting for, unless you've got your calculator out and done it already. How much I spent in total at festivals this year. A whopping £610.80. And if you count the profit from Reading, it's £574.80. But that's not that accurate anymore because I drunk some of the Stella, which I can't no longer sell. Either way, this amount I think is reasonable. In my opinion, it's definitely worth it for the experience which you get out of it. Obviously everybody is different, you don't have to go for the whole camping experience as it can get a bit hectic sometimes, so you might just want to go for a day, or you might not even want to go to festivals at all. So hopefully this video has been somewhat of a good insight to anyone which hasn't been to a festival before and is maybe thinking of going. Like I said previously, this is all down to my choice of how much money I want to spend there. I know a lot of people that spent a lot of money when they were at Reading. I'm talking £200 to £300 on things which I'm not going to talk about. If you know, you know. Would I say it was worth it? Absolutely. In some ways it is a once in a lifetime opportunity because you're never going to experience that exact moment again. And not to make it deep or anything, but the artists which you see perform might not be alive when the festival is next on. As
Hey yo, what the
Sorry, that was pretty... What I'm trying to say is you don't know what's around the corner. Anything can happen. Like at one point at Reading, me and my mates got so close to the front of the crowd of the BBC Radio 1 Extra stage that my fellow friend Will Roxby actually managed to touch hands with KSI. So when I say once in a lifetime opportunity, I really do mean it. And if you decide not to go to festivals, you better be investing that money instead. Anyway guys, this is going to be the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching. Apologies, it has been a while since I last uploaded, but it was a good video. I revealed my £10,000 stock portfolio, so go check it out if you want to. If you haven't already, smash that like button and subscribe if you are new around here. With all that being said, stay safe and I'll see you in the next one.